like that? I just made that in Keynote. I dropped in a background video. I put a big crash symbol there. And I need to give you a little word of warning. There's a rant coming in this Periscope. So the secret is that's the first image that the Periscope uses for a thumbnail. So anybody who sees the replay, they're going to see crash, they're going to see crazy stock market stuff. But here's your warning, a rant is coming. So I just got back from San Diego. I was at the Laser App conference, and I didn't pay attention to the stock market. And it's probably like most of your clients, they haven't been paying attention to the stock market either. They're going to come home from work Friday afternoon. If it's the East Coast, it's already after 5 o'clock. And they're going to turn on the news. They're going to open up their social media apps, and all they're going to see is that nonsense right there. Down 500 points. Market's down 3%. I paid attention to my Twitter lists, all the CFP professionals that I follow. I haven't seen anybody use new technology to interact and engage with their clients. And I'm talking about Periscopes just like this, talking about meerkats, talking about quick little videos potentially. Now, some advisors, some reps may be super careful about compliance, but here's the thing, here's my rant. You do not need to use this type of technology to say, I'm cutting back on my oil positions, I'm going to get into options, forget about all that. I want advisors to use technology like this to talk about things that are important. And the frame of reference that I can do that is to get out of my office, walk down the hall, and I want to go outside because it's actually a pretty decent day here in Atlanta. And this is what advisors can do. Yeah, the market's down a lot today. 500 points, 3%. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to sit in my backyard and I'm going to enjoy good weather. I'm going to enjoy a cold glass of root beer. And when my wife comes home, I'm going to tell her that I love her. When I see my son, I'm going to tell him that I love him. I'm going to get on my mountain bike, try to get some exercise. I'm going to enjoy the time that I have. And I don't need to worry about the stock market. I don't need to worry about 500 points, about 3% to change the things. Now, if I have some concerns about that, I need to have a conversation with an advisor. If I'm worried about the stock market, if I'm worried about cash, the advisor can use something like this. You can use something like this to say, look, I'm not going to talk about oil. I'm not going to talk about gold. I'm not going to talk about anything like that. I want you as my client to enjoy the things that are available to you today. The sunshine, the flowers in your garden, whatever is true to your client's desires, this is how you can use something like Periscope. This is how you can use something like Meerkat. Now, my secret is I put this root beer out here ahead of time. I had a little idea of what I was going to do. I have a tripod, so this is nice and stabilized. So there's little secrets that you can do. But really, I was disappointed. I was hoping that an advisor or somebody would fire up Periscope, fire up Meerkat and say, this is a message for clients. If you're nervous, I would love to have a conversation with you. But I want to remind you, the reason that we work together is so you can enjoy your family, you can enjoy the things that you have today, you can enjoy the sunshine, you have Saturday and Sunday, seize the day, seize the opportunity. So this is how I want advisors to be thinking about using technology. You know, Periscope, let it disappear, let Meerkat disappear, use it as a way to connect very quickly and efficiently. And pay attention to what the online investment services are doing. I'm sure that they're firing up a litany of blog posts. They probably have a library of content good for a month, maybe 3 months to post every week. But when you see me, something like this, talking so passionately about sometimes money in the markets are not within my control, and they shouldn't control what I choose to do this weekend. Sit down, have a glass of nice cold root beer, enjoy the things in the time that I have today, and that I think is a really effective way to connect with your clients. So I used a little shock factor. I put that little crash slide together out of my Keynote deck just to prove a point. Again, use technology. These are new ways that you can use and be experimental about making a real connection with your clients. Oh, broker-dealers not allowing Periscope. Well, here's the thing. Don't talk about stocks at all. Don't talk about oil. Put a proposal in place with your broker-dealer or your compliance department to say, look, I am not going to talk about any of these things, and cover it just like you would cover it a public appearance at a seminar or any type of lunch offering. I will follow the same requirements. How is what I'm doing right now any different than hosting a lunch seminar and talking about retirement or stock market investing? I don't really see the difference. Yes, I'm using a mobile phone. Yes, I'm using the internet, but I just don't see how this is different other than I don't have a chicken dinner here in front of me that was provided free by the seminar host provider. But so take a copy of this. I'll try to upload this to YouTube. Take it to a compliance professional and say, we're not using this technology to promote stocks. We're not using it to talk about stock market corrections. We're using it to deepen our relationships with our clients because we want to remind them to take advantage of the things that they have available to them each and every day. And none of that is dictated or controlled by what happens in the stock market. Those are out of our control. We try to do as best as we can to save money and put money aside and manage our financial priorities. But sometimes it just takes a passionate advisor to say, Mr. and Ms. Client, enjoy the weekend. Have a blast. Do the things that you love to do. If you're nervous, if you're worried because you have specific concerns, I want to talk to you about that. And that's what I'm here for. So they need to track it though. Social media archiving. How do we archive these? As soon as a Periscope replay is done, I can save it to the camera roll. I can send that file to my compliance department. I can put it on a server. I can put it on a thumb drive. I can send a recording of a Periscope to anyone. So I think that would satisfy the archiving. Supervision in real time. Again, do you need a compliance officer in your lunchtime seminar when you make a public appearance? I don't think so. I think you can use those same kind of rules to dictate this type of public appearance. It just happens to be on a mobile device. It just happens to be streamed over a web browser. And again, I'm not telling people anything about what to do with stocks or bonds or their portfolio. None of that is part of this. This is about connecting on a higher, more meaningful level, something that Carl Richards talks about very passionately, about things that I can control. I can control enjoying the weather. I can control enjoying a cold drink. I can get on my bike. I can tell my friends and family that I love them. And all of a sudden, fears about the Dow and 3% negative and the worst week ever, they kind of disappear because I have more important things to think about. So let's see. LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook are the only ones approved. Love the idea. Not sure we can do it. I'll upload this to YouTube. Send it to compliance officers as an example of a way to be creative and to work within the compliance regulatory framework. Let's work for a solution rather than always try to look at new technology with disdain or with refusal. So here's an example you can share with your compliance officers and compliance professionals and say, we would like to do this. We don't want to talk about securities, and we understand even if we went to a lunch-in, we can't do that. This is what we can do using this type of technology. So yes, I use this as a little clickbait, and I use this to prove a little bit of a point, but just be passionate about sometimes we get tied up in technology and what we can and can't use. But this is an opportunity for you as an advisor to reach out now. So you have an opportunity right now because no online investment services are doing exactly what I'm doing here. So send this to your compliance professionals. Say, hey, can we do this over the weekend? Can we do this on Monday, on Tuesday? We're not going to talk about specific stocks. We want to talk about things that our clients can control and encourage them to enjoy the things that they have and enjoy the fruits of their labor already today. Can we use this medium to do that? And I hope the answer is yes. If it's no, I need to have a talk with your compliance officers. So I'll download this. I'll get this uploaded on the FPPad YouTube channel. The replay on Periscope will be available for 24 hours. And I would love to see what kind of chatter it creates for your compliance officers, for your technology departments, to see if they're going to yield. Saying, oh, okay, now we get the point. You're not going to use this as your own squawk box show talking about stocks. So I want to see if that conversation gets any traction. So you let me know. Send me an email, bill@fppad.com. Leave a comment on the FPPad YouTube channel. Just send me a tweet at Bill Winterberg, because this is a great opportunity to differentiate yourself from the online investment services, because I just don't think they have the capacity or the wherewithal to make a connection like the one that we have right now. So glad to share it. Thank you for the comments, for continuing the discussion, and thanks for engaging. I hope you seize the the weekend. Don't worry about the markets. I mean, yeah, it's something to talk about. Get on your mountain bike, enjoy the sunshine, wear sunscreen, right? As that famous song says. So enjoy the weekend. Thank you so much for watching.